All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started and share my screen. I am super excited about this because it's not just your average workshop. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen correctly. Okay, good. Usually people are talking at you for a workshop, and that's not my intention here. So here we go. All right. So you should be able to see me, not as important, but you definitely should be able to see the screen. Um, I believe I still have capabilities to look at the chat. So if you can see the screen, let me know. If you can't see the screen, also let me know, just to make sure technology is doing its thing. And then we'll get started. All right, we are good. Technology is doing its thing. So this is all about, can you be a virtual assistant? Is this actually a possibility for you? What can that look like? What's your day-to-day going to look like? What's your life going to basically transform into once you take on this role? And is it like an all or nothing, or is it something you can slowly morph into and transition to? We're going to get into all of that because these are some of the unknowns that I was going into, and I just dived headfirst into it. I was so into the idea of becoming a virtual assistant. I was so done with where I was at that I did not have all the answers, but I went for it anyway. So we're going to get into some of those answers to ease some anxiety of where you might be to help you make the decision if this is a good fit for you or not. So this is all about if it's a good fit, what you need to get started, and even some services that you can offer starting out, because that can also be a tricky part too. So quick introduction. My name is Carly Ann, and I help people like you, women especially, but anybody, try to decide if virtual assistant is the right thing for them, grow their business, and just enjoy life instead of being stuck in their job. Because that's what I feel like I'm really able to do now that I've taken this on. I'm able to live my life. Like I work to live, I guess is what it's the term, instead of live to work. Like I am living my life and my business fits into it rather than the other way around. And I was able to replace my teaching income in just 3 months as a virtual assistant. And now I help others do the same. So it was a pretty quick turnaround for me. I feel like being able to start it up on my own. I got my first client within 2 weeks. And then shortly after, I was able to completely replace my income to the point where this is what I do now. Like, this is it. So, like I said, today's plan is assess if this is right for you, some tools and programs that I suggest that I use, but there's lots of choices out there, so it's up to you. Services that you can offer starting out, and some next steps of what can be yours and what you can get into next if this all sounds good. So, are you a good fit to be a virtual assistant? Some traits that are great for VAs are if you're organized, definitely reliable, and detail oriented. So, those little nitpicky things are really important to someone when they're hiring a virtual assistant. Strong communication skills is a must because we're doing this all virtually. And so, people really need your full communication, and being like overly communicative is better than being not communicating enough. So the more you can communicate, the clearer your communication is, the better. Independent and proactive, like you have to do that. You have to be that way to own your own business. Otherwise, it's not going to be as successful as it can be. So if you're really independent, especially because you're working on your own, you're like sitting there at your computer by yourself most of the time, but proactive. You can take on the work, you know what needs to be done next, not just for your clients, but for your own business too. And then willingness to learn new tools, because you're not going to know it all, especially starting out. I didn't, but having that willingness to learn the new tools, the new way of doing things, new services, anything is going to be a huge like skill for you to have, and it's going to really take you far. A couple of myths that we just need to get out of the way. You don't need admin experience. Yes, it can be helpful, but you don't need that. And you don't need a degree either. So if you're sitting there thinking like, I never went to school for anything like this, it's fine. Neither did I. Or I don't really have admin experience. I mean, I sort of did, but not really. So you don't need that. You already have a lot of the skills that you need going into this. Transferable skills like organizing events, managing schedules are enough to start. Like if you're the person who organizes the family get-togethers every year, you could have some great skills under your belt. If you are the person who organizes like the to-do list at work, like you're the one who gets everything together, like, oh, well, we need more napkins here in the workroom. Like it could be as simple as those kind of organizing skills. You have some skills to start out with. As long as you're not afraid of technology. Like if you're not a person who's like, oh, I don't want to touch it and like mess it up, this may not be the right fit for you. But as long as you're like, yeah, I can't mess this up, I can always use the undo button, then you're fine. Because the undo button is there for a reason, right? So services you could offer. Before I get into this section, I want you to think about some things that you are actually good at. And the reason that this is a workshop is because I want to take the time in the chat for people to say what they're good at. So give me some things that you know you're good at right off the bat. It could be skills, it could be day-to-day tasks that you are good at. Write it in the chat, and I can give you some examples right now of what your transferable skills will be and some services that you can offer based on your skills alone. Because there's so many out there. So whatever you think that your strong suit is, if you put that in the chat, I can get back to you right now with some services that I think would be a great fit for you. So some examples are like if you're really good at proofreading, writing, communication, email management is your thing. Email copywriting would be a great thing for you to get into. There have been clients that I've had where they have newsletters that they like to put out weekly, and they'll say, oh, these are the general ideas that I want. I think for a while, my client did some newsletters weekly that were about technology, Facebook ads, promoting those kind of things, and like platforms, programs, things like that. And I ran with it. And was able to write up some really good newsletters for her weekly that had to do with those kind of tasks and had to do with those kind of programs and Facebook. So they will give you the information needed. They just don't have the time to sit down and write it out, or they are afraid they're going to miss like a comma or a period or capitalizing something, and they want you to do that for them. Admin skills is a huge thing for me, but I have customer service experience, physical fitness and nutrition. Yeah. And construction office management. All right. Those are really good. Because physical fitness and nutrition, the people who are in that space, because that's where I started too, was like wellness and like health and wellness. Those type of people are really looking for someone to help organize their life, their business, because they're always on the move. They're very movement-based people. The fitness people are especially, obviously, because that's what they do. So they like to be doing the things. They like to be doing the workouts, meeting with people if they're in person, doing the videos of what they're doing for fitness. So if you are able to sit on your computer and do all of the back end work for them, whatever it may be, organizing their emails, answering a few easy emails, creating some documents for them, or connecting back to possible leads, like just checking in with them. Really simple-ish tasks that take a certain, finesse and communication, but they just don't have time for it, or they just dread it. I have talked to so many fitness trainers, some that I've worked with and some that just didn't work out that we worked together. but that was their big thing. They hated sitting behind the computer. They wanted to be out doing. So somebody who can sit behind a computer and do it for them, whew, that is gold. That is gold for them. And if you understand their realm, like you understand physical fitness, you understand nutrition, you have some of the lingo, that's going to be super important for you. That's going to be like a really good selling point. So, basic services that you could offer, admin services. Okay, we're jumping right into the last thing I was talking about. So, you can manage their calendar for them, do some email organization, because sometimes that email gets really bogged down. There's like a bunch of spam, there's emails that need to be answered later, there's emails that need to be answered now, there's, your basic invoices that are coming through the email. And sometimes these people, it's just all together and it's hard to sift through it all. So they just want someone to do that for them. Travel booking, like some people who travel a lot for work, they need that too. Like it could be as simple as those kind of tasks that you would be doing in an office, but you're just doing it remotely. So there's a lot of secretary type tasks that you can do, but you're just doing it remotely and you're just doing it 1099 instead of as a W-2 employee. So that is turnaround here, manage calendar, keep inbox organized, that kind of stuff. It could be as simple as that. They just need someone to do the little tasks that like a secretary, a right-hand lady would do for them, but you're just doing it from your own house, which we all love. Content creation, this is my jam, which is writing blogs, creating graphics, using like Canva, and managing social media. This is what I ended up getting into because it was somewhere where I could use my creativity and I could use my writing skills even to really connect with people and just create things. Just really liked that. So if you're really good with different kinds of programs online, especially those for graphic design, and you're also really good at writing, this is where those two mesh, is writing blogs, but then especially social media, because you're making the graphics that people put on Instagram for their business. And sometimes that's not just a photo. Sometimes that's actual graphics where you have to do the text, the colors, coordinating with their brand, yada, yada. You have to create all of that. But then also the caption that goes with it is the writing piece. And so it comes together into one. So that is something that I branched out into. That's my jam. Really fun stuff. Customer support, this kind of goes with admin to me. So this would be answering customer inquiries. So things that come in for, the business, they're having questions about whether it's the right fit, or maybe they're having trouble with the platform or program. That's where you come in, setting up support tickets if it needs to go further than you, for support for the program or platform that's being used. Or you can kind of filter out what's important for your client to take care of as far as questions and what you can handle. So what you can do for them versus pass it on to your client to get the final word. And this really helps your client out because obviously they're having to deal with less of these questions and day-to-day little tasks, because it could be as simple as checking the person's settings in the platform, saying, oh, that setting was turned off for you. I just turned it back on. Everything should be good. Please email me back if you have any more questions. It could be that simple, but your client just doesn't have time to do that. So if you can do that, perfect. Specialized skills. This is great when you're trying to scale. So earn more money and really have a higher hourly rate. These are some things that you can get into. And that could be like Pinterest management. A lot of businesses are getting more into Pinterest. Podcast editing is huge because that can take a long time. And a lot of people are starting to get into using and having their own podcast. Bookkeeping. So if you're really good at like taxes, numbers, invoicing, like everything that has to do with money and numbers and spreadsheets, that could be something that you specialize in later. Maybe you just need a course or two on it, or you just need to sit down with someone who is a bookkeeper right now and just like pick their brain a little bit. It could be something that you get into later. Social media management, that's what I specialized into. It just happened kind of naturally. I had a couple of clients who were wanting some Instagram management, and I just went full force into it and was like, okay, let's do this. And it was something that really clicked for me because, like I said, my creativity was there. It's a lot about connecting with people on social media, whether you're actually DMing or not. You're still trying to connect with them with the copy that you're writing. So all of that fit with my personality really well. Asana expert. So Asana is like a um, kind of like organization tool, basically. So if you're familiar with Trello or ClickUp or anything like that, it's kind of just a platform where you can really organize all of your thoughts. Sometimes people call them like CRMs as well. And some people really want to use Asana, but they just don't know how to use it. I had a client hire out for Asana. Like this person, that's what they do. They do Asana boards, they create them, they make them look nice, and they also divide them up into subcategories that really fit that person's needs. And that's what they do for their clients. So it's like project based. So they're hired on project by project, not monthly recurring. But that's what they do. They just make really pretty functional Asana boards. And I'm sure there's, lots of other specialties like that where it's like a Trello board, a ClickUp, like I don't think they call them boards, but like ClickUp expert, and you just set it up for your client so that it's functional for them and has everything they need. Because sometimes it's overwhelming just to set it up and get it ready. So if it's already made and it's like a template, that someone would pay for that. So you have skills or you can just learn a platform or a program really well, someone will pay you for it. So there are lots of skills out there. Lead generation is another great skill that I've also specialized in. It's great for finding leads for your client and really getting people in and connecting with people online that would be great future clients or customers. And you kind of pull them in slowly and let them see what your client is about and like really connect with them to hopefully convert them into a client. So it's a really great skill to have, and it can be a long game, which is why people will hire out for it. Because some people just do not have the time or the patience to sit down and have full on conversations with these people that may or may not buy from them. I know that sounds awful, but like that's where a lot of business owners are. They want to have that connection, but they just don't have the time on their hands to go out and find the people, source them out, and then carry on like a day-to-day conversation before they become clients. So they will outsource for it. An engagement specialist is super fun. This is where people will say, like, you can work from your phone. This is one of those things where you actually can work from your phone, like completely. And that's an engagement specialist. And that is where you log into your client's account as them and you are connecting with others online, like making comments on Instagram, liking posts, replying to stories on Instagram, doing the same thing on Facebook, like commenting, things like that. And you are logged into your client's account. You can do that completely from your phone. And you don't have to get logged in on your laptop. You can just do it while you're doing everything else. That is where people are saying, as a virtual assistant, you can work from your phone. If you're doing that kind of work, yes, you can, which is super nice, right? So, like I said, you have to look at your personality and what you're already good at, some skills, and connect it with some of these services. I bet you already have them. So like if you're detail oriented, you love numbers, you're really good with taxes, keeping track of all that, like that does not scare you or bother you at all, bookkeeping. And people will pay good money for that because they don't want to do it. It's a specialty because it takes a lot of skill to do that. So you could definitely this could be very lucrative for you very quickly. This is a quick rundown of what your day could look like as a virtual assistant if you did it full time, nothing else. So, your morning could be check your emails, check your scheduled social media posts, or just check your schedule in your calendar completely like you would at work, like you're just checking everything out, get ready, checking your emails. Afternoon, you could be creating presentations for your client or research topics for your client. It just depends on what your client needs, and what you go into. So what services you end up offering, but this could look like anything, honestly. The great thing is you work on your schedule. So it doesn't even have to be morning and afternoons. You can make this look however you want, and you schedule your appointments for yourself whenever you need to. What I mean by that is like, you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. You don't have to check in with anybody. You don't have to say like, oh, I really need to go to the doctor on Wednesday. So I'm going to have to take a 2-hour break. No, you don't need to tell anybody that. You schedule your doctor appointment and you tell your clients that like, hey, I got a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. So it'll be a little hard to reach me that day if needed. You don't even have to do that. I don't even do that for a lot of my clients. So for a lot of my clients, it kind of just looks like, if I take my kids to the doctor or if I have a doctor's appointment, my clients don't even know because they don't need to. Because what I do for them is not checking in day to day. There is only one type of task that I have, one service that I offer where I actually tell my client when exactly I'm working. And it's because it's one of those nuanced skills or nuanced services that requires that just to kind of keep tabs and so that communication is clear. And that is lead generation. So when I'm doing lead generation for a client, I'm doing it on Instagram, and I also do engagement while I'm in there. Like it all goes together as one. It's really hard to see the benefits of engagement right away. So what I do is I just message her in Slack and say like, hey, I'm clocking in right now. And for 30 minutes, I'm doing my job. I'm in there. I'm doing the stuff for lead gen. And then when I clock out, I say, hey, I'm clocking out. Here are the things that I was able to do today. Like I don't get into specifics of accounts that I commented on and all of that, but I say like, here are some general things that I did today while I was in your account. And here's roughly the amount of accounts that I was able to interact with. And that's all I do. So that way she knows exactly when I clocked in, when I clocked out, when I was doing stuff, how much roughly I was doing, and I'm done. But besides that, I do not directly have that communication with my clients day to day. They don't know exactly what my schedule is day to day. I will tell them, yeah, I can have that done for you by the end of the week if it's something that is urgent. But I do not continuously like check in with them day to day because it's not necessary. A lot of my clients I've been working with for a while, and you get into a schedule and a groove. So a lot of my clients, they know that work will get done in a timely manner because I've built that communication and that trust, and because we've been working together for a while. So I do not need to check in all the time. They just know it's going to get done. And when things do get done, I do message them so they know. But like, that's what I'm saying. You have freedom and flexibility. You don't have to check in with anybody. You're the boss. And I love that. So your schedule today can look however you want. You can do a little bit of work between household tasks or taking care of your kids. Sometimes that's what I do. There's a lot of virtual assistants that are like nap warriors. And when their kids take a nap, they get on their laptop, they get a bunch of work done, and they do it quickly and efficiently. And then by the time their kid wakes up, they're mom again. They get to be mom and they get to watch the kids. And that's what they do. And then maybe when their kid goes to bed, they do a little bit more. And they make it fit into their life instead of making their life try to work around their business, which is beautiful. And if you're still in your 9 to 5 and trying to build your business, you can still do that too. You can do it before you go in, or when you get home, and just slowly build it up. And then when you feel like you have gotten to a really good place of being able to let go, you peace out of your 9 to 5, and you can, have your own business, and you don't have to be at your 9 to 5 anymore. Or you can do part-time for a little bit until it feels good, and then guys, you can actually work from your phone, like I said, a little bit. There are some tasks that I do. Like sometimes I'm able to do some research on my phone while I'm going on a walk. Sometimes I am able to, like I said, do the engagement while I'm on my phone. And I'm like playing with the kids, or I'm sitting in the living room watching a show with my son. I can be on my phone and do that. There's different little tasks that I can do from my phone, but I can't do everything from my phone. There are a lot of websites that will tell you like you can work from your phone completely. You can, but not 100%. So there are tasks where I do definitely have to be logged into my laptop and I have to be on a certain platform or website to perform the tasks that I need to get done. And I'm not sitting at my laptop all day though. So I want to make that clear. Having a laptop or a desktop, some kind of computer at home is essential if you're jumping into this because you can't do everything from your phone. So please know that. Tools and programs that you should look into that I suggest. So some essential tools definitely are project management of some sort. This helps keep you organized as a business owner because usually you have some kind of project management tool that you're using at the job that you are currently at or any kind of, corporate 9 to 5. And you kind of have to fill that gap now as a business owner. So Asana is a great tool, Trello also, and ClickUp. Trello definitely is free, which I love. Asana is free as well, but you have to pay for like the upgrades and like better stuff. And then ClickUp is free too, but not if you want the upgrades. So all of these you can pay for upgrades and extras, but I believe they're all free starting out. Trello is my favorite though, just because it's better for visual learners. You have like cards, you can move them around and add like details in the cards. There's a lot that there's a lot of versatility with Trello, but you have to kind of look at them and see what fits your personality and your brain best. But I definitely think having a project management tool can be helpful depending on how organized you are and how you can kind of keep things together in your brain because you're going to have this client who needs these tasks done and need them done by this time and this date, and then this client needs tasks done and needs it done by a different date. So you just have to keep everything organized. And I think that is a great place to start. And then once it becomes second nature, then maybe you can move away from them a little bit. Communication, I would suggest Slack. And I use that for my clients personally. I love it. I was a little weary of it at first because when you're using Slack, yes, everybody can see everybody else who is in the same Slack workplace, but my clients have never said anything about it and they don't seem to care. I think it almost makes them feel a little better because they're like, oh, there's more people here. Like, there's lots of clients. It's almost like an agency. So it makes you seem a little more professional. And I just like it for day to day communication. Clients can send voice notes, which makes it a little more versatile, a little more accessible, because I have had plenty of clients that love voice notes and they will just send me a ton of them. And I prefer that because then I can hear the intonation, I can hear the inflection in their voice, which can sometimes come across much better than just a short little like uh, phrase that you would send in an email, because then it seems like, oh gosh, are they mad at me? Is everything okay? But if you hear it in a voice note, it's like, oh, yeah, we're just chatting. So definitely would suggest that. You can use Zoom or you can use Google Meet. I tried Google Meet for a little bit and I didn't love it for what I was doing day to day with meeting with clients. So I prefer Zoom. File sharing, some people use Dropbox. I love just using Google. It works great. Google also integrates with Slack. Slack integrates with so many things. So when you're sharing files, you can share videos, you can share photos, you can share different files like Google Docs and things through Slack. Love that. Like it shares everything beautifully. So that's another reason why I like Slack so much. Because sometimes when you're using Gmail and you try to send things, it'll say it's too big. Slack never has that problem. So Slack is great for file sharing and communication. Invoicing and contracts. So you can use things like Dubsado, Honeybook, and Hello Bonsai is a new one. I have not looked into that one, but I've heard a lot about Dubsado and Honeybook. Those are platforms where you have invoicing and contracting and other things as well. Like they're able to do other tasks. I'm not sure exactly what though. So they integrate a lot of things together. But you have to pay for those. I do not think they're completely free. I never looked into them because I still use the free versions of what I use. And I use Wave for invoicing and I use Signwell for contracts. I have my own contract template in the VA starter kit. If you're curious, I give it completely to you. Like, here is my contract template, go use it. And what I do is I just fill it out for the clients, exactly what they need, and I will save it as a PDF. And then I take that PDF and upload it into Signwell. And then it has certain places for you to click to add like a signature for your client, a signature for you. And I just send it to my client through there. And it's so simple. It's simple for me, it's simple for them. Love that. Wave is great for invoicing. I love it because you can set a reoccurring invoice. And so you want those clients who are reoccurring every month, who have a monthly retainer that keep coming back to you. And you don't want to have to make an invoice every single month. You don't want to have to remember that. You don't want to have to put that in every time because then your client has to manually pay it every time. That's annoying. And we're not just going to say, Venmo me the money. We're more professional than that. A lot of people, I think, get a little weary when you say, oh, just send it through PayPal or Venmo me. If you say, I'm sending you an invoice, that immediately makes them feel a little more at ease because they're like, oh, they're professional. Like, this is not going to be some like scam. It immediately makes them feel better. So I use Wave for invoicing. It does reoccurring invoices. So I just set it once and forget it. And then I just get emails that say, you got paid every month. And I love that for me, right? So I love Wave. It also has like a P&L to it as well, where it will like show you your profit throughout the year, your profit throughout the month, and your loss when you take money out of your checking account. So I just really love that capability too. It also will send reminders if you want. You can set up reminders for an invoice. So if a client has not paid yet, you don't have to go back in and keep sending that same invoice, and you don't have to keep emailing them on the side. Wave will just send a reminder, like automated. So it's less on you to remember, and it doesn't seem as like naggy as sending a separate email. Like it's just coming from the same payment processor. So it's not you, it's Wave sending it. Really nice. My suggestion though is to start simple with your tools because yes, you can get tools that integrate everything. And so you're not using all these different ones. Like you could use Dubsado for everything instead of using Wave and Signwell. You can use Honeybook for everything. You're paying after a while for those. Those are not free. Okay. So I like to use the free tools because yeah, you have to use a few different ones, but it's free instead of an all-in-one tool. So you can always upgrade later. You can always like move things over to a different program as you go. So definitely go with the free tools first. It's much better than trying to jump in with paid tools right out the gate when you are new in your business because you want to build up your revenue first. Common hesitations is, what if I don't have experience? That's okay. That is completely okay. A lot of clients are willing to teach you their processes because they want to know that they're in good hands. They want to know that you're going to go about it the same way as them. So they're going to show you step by step. Let's get on a video call. I'll share my screen and I will show you exactly the ways that I do it. I have had so many clients do that. They hire me and they say, okay, well, I tell them, I say, yes, I have skills with this, this, and this, or this is my background. Like starting out, it was very basic skills. Starting out, my background was teaching. That's what I was able to tell them. And they were able to say, okay, well, I don't mind getting on a Zoom call and I will show you how I do it. Okay. And they did. And it was not a problem. It was not like a backhanded, like, ugh thing. It was like, I am fine with showing you how to do this. They would rather because it makes them feel a little more at ease knowing that they have shown you and kind of onboarded you for the process. So if you are worried, like, I don't know how to use some of these programs, or I don't know exactly how to formulate a newsletter in Flowdesk, like, I don't know how that looks. your client will most likely show you. And if they're not willing to show you, that's fine. They're not for you. They are not for you. And another thing is, I just tell people, know how you're coming across and how you're promoting yourself to potential clients. If you're promoting yourself as a professional, like skilled, like service, specialized service, then yes, someone is going to think, like, they're going to say, okay, you should know what you're doing. Like, if I promote myself as a specialized blog writer, like I am, a blog expert, someone is not going to hire me and say, okay, let me show you how I do my blog posts. They're going to hire me and say, make my blogs better. What can you do? How can you make my blogs work better and perform better? They're going to look to me to like level that up. But if I am just promoting myself as a general VA and they just need someone to write out the blogs for them because they don't have time and they don't want to do it, they're going to show me. And that's what my first client did. She showed me. She said, hey, so she knew that I was a general VA because I was my first client. And she said, here's how I do my blogs. And she sent me a couple Loom videos. And she's like, I do this. This is the heading. This is the format that I use. I just take this from the information that I'm going to send you every week. And I plug it into here and write this out. And she showed me step by step. It was so easy to follow her steps. She just didn't have the time. She had a new baby at home and she just didn't have the time. She also was still working her regular job while trying to promote her blog. So she needed someone to do it for her. And that was me. How do I find clients? I have something for you at the end if you're wanting to find clients. So stay tuned. But I use Facebook groups and Instagram to connect with potential clients. I build relationships by adding value. I don't just look for posts that say, I need help. I'm looking to hire, because not all the time are people going to post those posts. They're going to be thinking, I really should get help, or I really should, look into hiring someone, but they may not post about it in the group. They may not post about it, especially on Instagram. But if you come to them and say, here's what I know about organizing an email inbox. Here's what I know about, this, like anything that you can help with, anything that they're asking questions about in Facebook groups that you can help with is beautiful. Or connecting on Instagram on a personal level in the DMs, and then kind of leading in with like, yeah, I just recently started up my virtual assistant business. Like, here are some things that I'm really trying to do for clients. If you know anybody, like, let me know. Know anybody, it might be them, might end up being them. So you just have to build those relationships. You're not just promoting outright. You're not going to send cold DMs. We don't do that. We do not do that. Because that does not work. And the other misconception, do I need a website? No, please do not go through the hassle of building yourself a website. You can start with a portfolio, you can start with social media presence, and maybe a link tree. Link trees are super simple to set up. They're free. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there on how to set up a link tree if you need those, but it should be pretty straightforward. And that's all you need. You don't need anything crazy. So if any of this is starting to click for you in a way where you're like, this sounds like something I could jump into. This sounds like something I want. This feels like something that I could be good at. Your next step could be the VA Starter Kit. What do you get? You get 26 lessons. I have templates, contracts, worksheets, things to help you get started, not just busy work. It's a step-by-step guidance to help you really launch your business, get out there and get started. And you can get started in a week or less. Because that's how I did it. I was like a week and a half that it took me to get started. And I did not have this very straightforward, actionable, focused course to take. The course that I took had a lot more to it and a lot more busy work. I was just able to cut through the BS of the course to get to the parts that I really needed. So that's why I put this together, because it's none of the BS. It's all of what you need. There's no fluff in this at all. Because I just found there's a lot of courses out there that are fluff It's like they're promising, here, you can be a virtual assistant, you can have this freedom, the freedom that I've been talking about. But then they give you a bunch of fluff to work through. So it's like you paid them to learn the course, to have the course to learn, and now they're keeping you spinning your wheels. Almost like it's on purpose. But I'm not here for that. So there's no fluff in mine. Also, what you get with the VA Starter Kit is access to an exclusive community in Slack where it's only those that are in my courses. So it's only the people that are here to actually do the work, and weekly office hours. So we will meet weekly to chat about anything you have questions about, anything that you are needing extra help on, which I love. And so, yes, a recent student of mine that is in the course said that she's able to launch her business within a week, and she's still working her full-time job, and she's still watching her grandkids throughout the week. Like, if somebody can do that with my course, you can too. And this just shows how quickly you can get it done. So I'm sure there's some people out there that could binge my course, not binge in a way that you're just listening on auto because everything's actionable. You have to do the things. But there's somebody who could binge my course in like 2 days and get this done for sure. So if you are watching the replay of this shortly after it is being put out, or if you're on the call right now, there's a bonus or a discount available for the VA Starter Kit. And the bonus is $77. It's usually $111. I recently launched this out to my closed community for a very discounted price. And I have heard that it is just full of value, which I already knew. So the regular price is 111, 111, because I love my angel numbers, and $94 through Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So for right now, it's actually $94. But if you want to hop in and be a part of this awesomeness in the next 30 minutes, it is $77. So it's literally a steal. 26 lessons, and you get access to the exclusive community and weekly office hours. This is lifetime access, by the way. So this does not go away. So for $77 flat, this is not $77 a month. This is $77 straight. You get all of this lifetime access. It's a no-brainer, really. The other thing that I'm super excited about, this is brand new, and this is Booked and Busy. So if you're listening to this and you're like, yes, I've already done what's probably in the VA Starter Kit. You have it set up, you've got the basic skills down, you've done that work. Now you're struggling with finding the clients, getting there. This is the next step. The reason that is all of my courses are bite-sized. They're bite-sized and they're very focused. And that is for a reason, because you're going to be at different points in your virtual assistant journey where you're going to need more focus on each thing. And that's where I was. I bought my big, huge, expensive course that really helped me get off the ground running once I picked through the BS, but it struggled with getting me clients. I really needed a course after that, but I already spent a lot of money on the course. Sucked. So I have found that gap, filled it. I make small bite-sized courses on purpose to help you with each step of your business. So this is the next step. You set up your business. If you are completely ready to go, but you're like, where are the clients? No one's hiring. Why is no one hiring? How do I find people to hire me as their virtual assistant so I can make money? If that is where you're at, you need Booked and Busy. So is your path to consistent clients. This will be full of pre-recorded lessons that are all actionable strategies, find and retain your clients, and step-by-step videos, very clear. Also, there'll be live Q&A calls. I'm doing 2. They're exclusive to Booked and Busy. So VA Starter Kit people will not be in these. It'll be just Booked and Busy because it is for the live course. This course will be rolling out live. And as it is rolling out, I will do live Q&As, 2 of them throughout that rollout. So it is amazing. There'll be challenges, wins that we'll talk about through here. any questions, anything that you are struggling with. It's a great way to have community, but then also pick my brain on anything that you're struggling with. Client acquisition blueprint. I have worked with so many different clients, probably a dozen. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but my clients are retained. My clients are monthly. My clients stick around. There are clients that I've worked with for over a year. So when you're doing the job that I'm doing, which is not project-based, it is reoccurring monthly, you want to keep your clients. So the fact that I've only worked with like maybe a little over a dozen, that's good. That is very good because I have retained my clients over time. And that is what I'm trying to do for you, is help you find the clients and help you keep them. So how do you keep clients month after month? That's what we're getting into as well with the booked and busy, because to be booked and busy, not too busy though, you need to get the clients and retain them. And then exclusive access, of course, to our private community, and weekly office hours is also included with the booked and busy. And why it works, like I said, it's the same as the VA starter kit. It is focused and effective. There is no fluff in my courses. We don't have time for that. In the VA starter kit, I do not have you spend a lot of time on branding. I don't go into it too much. I don't talk about it too much because I don't want you to get distracted by it. We're not going to get distracted and overthink, what colors should my branding be? No, you don't need that. Your potential clients are not going to be like analyzing your branding colors, right? So what they're going to be doing is looking for someone they can trust, looking for someone that they can have a real connection with. And that is what we're getting into in Booked and Busy. Live support, like I said, I will be here in the Slack community for any questions. And also we have weekly Q&As where you can pick my brain. And with Booked and Busy, you get the 2 live calls. So those will be much longer than office hours. Those where we really dive deep. Anybody on the call has anything to talk about. If not, I will prompt you and we will get things going on the call itself. Like, these are not just hangout calls. We're going to get shit done on the calls. Real results. So my strategy has helped me land 3 clients in just 1 week. And this was recently. Like the past, like 2 weeks ago, I landed 3 clients in 1 week. And that's all because the confidence, preparation, and connection that I work off of. And I'm going to be teaching all of that to you. And we're doing a special offer for live attendees. And this is the pre-sale. It's kind of like the pre-sale because it will never be this low. And that is $55. And this is the lowest price it'll be because this is the, like I said, pre-sale. Throwing a little Black Friday in there too. So this is the lowest it will be. The official start date for this course is in January. And the price is just going to get higher as we get closer to January. So the sooner you jump in, the better. And with the pre-sale, everything's included. I already mentioned with a head start before January. And most likely, I will have a very exclusive special Q&A probably towards the end of December for those who have jumped in on pre-sale or pre-sale. So we are really throwing everything out there for the Booked and Busy because I'm so excited about it. It is going to be such a great course, but it's the pre-sale because it's going to be a live course, like I said, and we don't start till January. So I am really excited for the Booked and Busy to get going. And don't miss your opportunity for this one because, like I said, it won't be this low. Booked and Busy will not stay this low because we're going to get closer and closer to the launch date. All right. So now we are on to the Q&A section. So this is your time in the chat to ask anything that you're wanting to ask, anything that's up. So when is Booked and Busy able to be accessed? Do we still have to wait till January? So for those who jump in, pre-sale, pre-sale, if you jump in, you can get access as it rolls out. So this is still something that is in the works that I'm building, and that's why it's pre-sale. So I have the general outline. I know exactly what it's going to be about. I know the lessons, but it's still being planned out and built. So that is why it is so much cheaper, because it is not fully planned out. Well, it's planned out, but not fully been videotaped and everything and recorded yet. So as that goes, it will be posted. So you will get immediate access once the first lesson is rolled out. And that would be another, benefit of getting in on the pre-sale or the pre-sale. So this is just the pre-sale. The pre-sale will be happening as well. So you can still get in on the pre-sale. It will be more than $55. So like it says here, pre-sale is happening, but it will jump up to $88 soon. I'm thinking the final price will be around $133 because of everything that's going to be within it, because Booked and Busy is going to be bigger than the VA starter kit, because what I want to put in that course is a lot more information, because it's about keeping your clients, day-to-day communication with your clients, acquiring clients. Where do you look for that? How do you do that? Basic lead generation skills, what that looks like, how I do lead generation. There's going to be a lot packed in there. When I respond to job postings on Facebook groups or other places where I find them, how do I respond? What is my email template look like? Like, I'm giving you a lot of information in Booked and Busy. So I am really trying to make sure that value is reflected in the price. So that is why it is probably going to be around 133. But we still have time to do the pre-sale, and go further than that. What other questions are in the chat? Like I said, here is what I was talking about. You jump in on the pre-sale or the pre-sale. Like, if you are in the course early, before the start date, before the final price, then you will be an intimate Q&A. So it's like an intimate coaching call, basically, because there's no questions yet about the course. So it's basically a free coaching call that you would get before the course even starts, where we can just chat about anything you're struggling with. I can give you an idea of what to look for in the course as it rolls out. But it would only be for those who invested early, obviously. And then there's the 2 Q&As that are included throughout the course too. So for anybody wanting to jump in on the pre-sale price, of $77, I'm going to be dropping that for $55. Wrong course. $55. I'll be dropping that in the chat for the Booked and Busy. And I'm working on it because I have to edit out my link so that it has the right amount for y'all, not the normal amount of 88, but the special price of 55. Because I already had it in here as 88, but Anybody on the call, obviously, and 30 minutes after this call will get 55. And also, for anybody who is still wondering, I do Apple Pay, Google Pay, Klarna, and Afterpay. So if 55 or 88, whatever you're doing, doesn't seem feasible as a one-time payment, you can still have that spread out as needed using Afterpay and things like that. All right, so we're good. I have the new link, dropping it in the chat. Link. And if for some reason you are watching the replay and you want the link, make sure you're checking your email, you're checking the Facebook group, all of that. The link should be there as well. And I'm super excited. I am super excited to build out Booked and Busy because it's everything that I wanted, everything that I needed after I took my really expensive course and filtered through the BS. That is exactly what I needed, is what I am giving to you in Booked and Busy. And it's almost crazy that I'm giving that out and I'm still working as a virtual assistant as well as coach because you're basically going to be doing the same thing I'm doing. You get it. So that is because I don't want anybody struggling the same way that I was struggling. So if we don't have any more questions, then I think we are good. The link is in the chat for Booked and Busy pre-sale. The pre-sale will be going on until Cyber Monday. And then after that, it will probably be going up to 88. I see that happening very soon. So jump in on it while you can. That is the beauty of the pre-sale. And if there's no more questions, I think we're good. Thank you. You have a great evening too. I will talk to you later. All right, guys.